What should we eat to be healthy? Many people ask this question. It seems very difficult to know the right answer today. There is lots of information, but it is often confusing. Maybe the answer is simple: eat food, not too much, mostly plants. This sounds easy, but what does it mean? What is real food? Today, we hear many different ideas about eating. Experts like scientists and doctors tell us one thing, then food companies tell us another thing. Advertisements on television and the internet also give us ideas about food. Sometimes the advice changes very quickly. One year a food is good for you. The next year maybe it is bad for you. This makes it hard for people to choose what to eat. Think about the past. Our mothers and grandmothers often knew how to feed their families. They learned from their own mothers. They used traditional ways to cook and choose food. These traditions helped people stay healthy for a long time. People ate meals together. They knew where their food came from. Now things are different. We often listen to scientists on the news. We see advertisements for new food products in the supermarket. These products often come in bright packages. They sometimes say they are healthy, but are they really food, or are they something else? Our food culture has changed very fast. Many of us do not eat the same foods our parents or grandparents ate. This is unusual in history. Why is there so much confusion about food? One reason is that food companies want to sell more products. They make new things all the time. They tell us these new things are good for our health. Another reason is that nutrition science is always changing. Scientists learn new things, but sometimes their ideas change later. This makes it hard to know what to believe. This writing will try to explain the confusion about food and health. It looks at why we started listening more to experts and companies than to our families. It talks about the types of food we eat today, like processed foods. It will also give some simple rules. These rules can help you understand food better. They can help you make good choices about what you eat. The goal is to help people enjoy food and be healthy again without all the worry and confusion. It is about getting back to eating real food. 2. Thinking about nutrients. We often hear people talk about nutrients. Nutrients are parts of food like fat, protein, carbohydrates, or vitamins. Experts like scientists and doctors study these nutrients. They tell us which ones are important for our bodies. There is a way of thinking about food that focuses very much on these single nutrients. This idea is called nutritionism. Nutritionism is not the same as nutrition science. It is more like a belief. The main belief of nutritionism is that nutrients are the most important part of food. It says that food is really just the sum of its nutrient parts. So understanding nutrients is seen as the best way to understand food and eating for health. Because nutrients are tiny and we cannot see them, nutritionism tells us we need experts to explain food. Scientists study nutrients and decide which ones are good for us and which ones are bad. This idea of good and bad nutrients changes often. One year fat might be bad. Another year maybe a certain type of fat is good. Food companies really like the idea of nutritionism. It helps them sell more food, especially processed food. They can add good nutrients like vitamins to their products, or they can take out bad nutrients like fat or sugar. Then they put health messages on the packages. The messages say the food is healthy because it has the good nutrient or is low in the bad nutrient. They hope this makes us buy their product. They might even suggest their processed food product is healthier than a simple, whole food. But is thinking only about nutrients the best way? This way of thinking can create problems. It makes eating seem very complicated. It makes us believe we always need experts to tell us how to eat. It focuses on single parts of food, not the whole food. An apple is not just vitamin C, it is a complex food. A piece of fish is not just protein or omega-3 fat. When we focus too much on nutrients, we can forget about eating actual food. Real whole foods are different from processed food products, even if those products have added vitamins. Nutritionism can make us choose processed foods with health claims instead of simple foods like fruits and vegetables. This focus on nutrients might not make us healthier. It might even make us less healthy and more confused about what to eat. 3. Why we eat nutrients now. For a long time, people just ate food. They did not think much about nutrients like fat or vitamins, but this way of thinking started to change. By the 1980s, many food packages started talking about nutrients. Words like low fat or high fiber became common. Nutrients seemed more important than the food itself. Why did this happen? Around 1977, the American government became worried. More people were getting sick with problems like heart disease. Some scientists believed that eating too much fat, especially from meat and dairy foods, was causing these problems. A government group studied this. Their first advice was simple: eat less meat. But the companies that sell meat were not happy. They were powerful and complained strongly. Because of this, the government group had to change its advice. Instead of telling people to eat less meat, the new advice was about nutrients. It said people should choose foods to reduce saturated fat. Saturated fat is a nutrient found in meat and dairy foods, but also in other foods. Talking about nutrients was easier for the government than talking about specific foods like meat. Food companies did not get as angry when the advice was about saturated fat. Most nutrients did not have powerful groups fighting for them in the government. Food companies quickly saw an opportunity in this new way of thinking. They started to make new kinds of food products. These products changed the amounts of nutrients. For example, margarine companies said their product was healthier than butter. They said margarine had less of the bad nutrient saturated fat. They added good nutrients like certain vitamins. Margarine was a processed food, but it was sold as a healthy choice because of its nutrients. A change in rules also helped these new products. Before 1973, companies had to label changed foods as imitation. But after 1973, they could sell changed foods, like low-fat cheese, without the imitation label if the nutrients seemed similar. This opened the door for many new processed foods. Food science began changing foods based on nutrient ideas, and thinking about nutrients became more popular than thinking about whole foods. 4. The problem with low-fat food. For around 30 years, official advice told people to eat less fat. This message came from government groups and health experts. The main reason was an idea called the lipid hypothesis. This hypothesis or theory said that eating fat, especially saturated fat found in meat and dairy, was the main cause of heart disease. It suggested that lowering fat in your diet would make your heart healthier. Food companies listened to this advice. They saw a big opportunity to create new products. Soon, supermarkets were full of foods labeled low-fat or fat-free. There were low-fat cookies, low-fat yogurt, low-fat cheese, and even leaner meat. These products were marketed as the healthy choice. It seemed like the best way to follow the experts' recommendations and protect your health. However, after many years, scientists started to question the lipid hypothesis. More research was done. Some big studies did not find a strong link between eating less fat and having less heart disease. For lots of people, cutting down on fat did not prevent heart problems. The simple idea that all fat was bad seemed wrong. There were also unexpected problems with the low-fat trend. When people cut fat from their diets, they had to eat something else to feel full. Often they ate more carbohydrates. This meant more bread, pasta, rice, and foods with added sugar. Eating large amounts of these foods, especially refined carbohydrates and sugars, might have caused different health problems. Some scientists think this shift contributed to more people becoming overweight and obese. The rise in type 2 diabetes around this time might also be connected to these high-carbohydrate, low-fat diets. Low-fat diets were supposed to help people lose weight, but often they did not. Another serious issue was the type of fat used in low-fat foods. To make products taste good without fat, companies often added sugar. They also replaced natural fats, like butter fat, with processed fats. A very common type was trans fat. Food makers created trans fats by changing liquid vegetable oils into solid fats using a process called hydrogenation. These trans fats helped foods last longer on the shelf. But research later showed that trans fats were very unhealthy. They raise bad cholesterol and lower good cholesterol. Some evidence suggests trans fats are much worse for heart health than the saturated fats people were told to avoid. So, replacing natural fats with these processed fats was a bad trade for health. The focus on just reducing fat ignored the importance of the type of fat and the effects of eating too much sugar and refined carbohydrates. 5. The food we eat today. Many people today eat something called the Western diet. This way of eating is common in countries like America and Europe, and now in many other parts of the world too. What is this diet? It has lots of processed foods. These are foods made in factories, often sold in packages and boxes. Think about sugary breakfast cereals, snacks like chips, and ready-made meals. These foods are not simple like an apple or a carrot. The Western diet often includes a lot of meat, especially red meat. It also has a lot of added fat and added sugar in many foods and drinks like sodas. People eating this diet usually do not eat many fresh fruits or vegetables. They also don't eat many whole grains like brown rice or whole wheat bread. Instead, they usually eat refined grains like white flour found in white bread and white rice. These refined foods have fewer good parts, like fiber. This way of eating is linked to serious health problems. Many people who eat the Western diet get sick over time. Common sicknesses include obesity, which means being very overweight. Type 2 diabetes, a problem with blood sugar, is another common illness. Heart disease, which affects the heart, and some types of cancer are also strongly linked to this diet. These health problems are sometimes called Western diseases because they became common first in Western countries where people started eating this way. A long time ago, maybe 100 years ago, some doctors traveled to places far away. They worked with people who did not eat like people in the West. They noticed something interesting. These people ate traditional diets, using foods they found or grew nearby. These people did not usually get sick with Western diseases like heart disease or diabetes. Their traditional foods were very different from the Western diet. They ate whole foods, not lots of processed foods with added sugar and fat. These traditional diets were often very healthy, even though they were different from each other. Some groups ate mostly meat, others ate mostly plants. What mattered was that they ate real food. The doctors also saw what happened when people stopped eating their traditional foods. When people moved to cities or started buying store food, they began eating the Western diet. Soon after changing their diet, they started to get the Western diseases. First, people might become overweight. Then later, they might get diabetes or heart problems. This showed a strong link between eating the Western diet and getting these illnesses. It suggests that our bodies find it difficult to stay healthy with this modern way of eating. Humans lived for thousands of years on many different traditional diets. But the Western diet is very new in human history, and it seems to cause health problems for many people around the world who adopt it. 6. Changes in our food. The food many people eat today is very different from the food people ate in the past. Our diets have changed in several important ways. One big change is the move from whole foods to refined foods. For example, think about bread. In the past, flour was made by crushing the whole grain of wheat between stones. This flour contained the bran and the germ, which have fiber and vitamins. Now, modern machines make white flour by taking out the bran and germ. White flour looks smooth and lasts longer on shop shelves, but it loses important nutrients. Our bodies also digest refined foods like white flour and sugar very quickly. This fast digestion is not always good for us. Many modern foods give us energy quickly but lack other good things found in whole foods. Our food has also become simpler, often in bad ways. Modern farming uses chemical fertilizers that mainly feed plants three nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. This can make the soil less healthy over time. Plants grown this way might have fewer different nutrients in them. We also eat fewer types of plants and animals than our ancestors did. Much of our diet now comes from just a few main plants, like corn, soybeans, and wheat. Food processing also makes food simpler by taking out natural parts. Sometimes, only a few vitamins are added back. Another change is the focus on quantity over quality. The goal often seems to be making large amounts of food as cheaply as possible. But this focus on getting more food might mean the food is not as good. Studies suggest that some fruits and vegetables today may have fewer vitamins and minerals compared to 50 years ago. This might be because of farming methods or because new types of plants are chosen for high production, not high nutrition. As a result, we might eat more calories but get fewer nutrients. Some people can be overweight but still lack important vitamins and minerals. There has also been a big shift from eating leaves to eating seeds. Think about green vegetables versus grains. Leaves and seeds offer different things. Leaves often provide important vitamins and omega-3 fats. Seeds, like corn and wheat, provide energy and usually contain more omega-6 fats. Our bodies need a balance of omega-3 and omega-6 fats. But today, our diets contain much more omega-6 fats and fewer omega-3 fats. This change affects farm animals too. Many animals now eat grains instead of grass or other green plants. This changes the types of fat in their meat, milk, and eggs. Finally, the way we learn about food has changed. Traditionally, families and culture taught people what to eat. Mothers and grandmothers passed down knowledge about healthy cooking. Now, we often rely on food science, advertising, and changing government advice. This can be confusing. Food companies use scientific information to create new products and make health claims. This makes it harder to trust traditional ways of eating and to know what is truly healthy. 7. Choose real food. It can be hard to know what food is good for us. There is a lot of information and much food today is not simple. But some easy rules can help you choose real food. First, try not to eat anything your great-grandmother would not know is food. Think about her when you shop. Would she understand brightly colored yogurt in a plastic tube? Maybe not. She knew simple, real foods. Many things in shops today are new food products, not the food people ate long ago. These products often cannot go bad or rot, which is not natural for real food. Second, look at the list of ingredients on food packages. Avoid products if you see words you do not know or cannot say easily. Also, avoid products with very long lists of ingredients. A good rule is to avoid foods with more than 5 ingredients. Real food usually has only one ingredient, like an apple, or just a few, like simple bread made with flour, water, yeast, and salt. Many food products today have many ingredients. Also, try to avoid foods that have high fructose corn syrup on the list. This is often a marker for food that is very processed. Third, be careful with food products that make health claims on the box. Often, the healthiest foods do not have boxes or health claims. Think about fruits and vegetables. They are good for you, but they sit quietly in the shop. It is usually the processed foods that shout about being healthy. Sometimes these claims are not very true or they hide unhealthy things in the food. Real food does not need to tell you it is healthy. Fourth, think about where you shop. In most big supermarkets, the fresh, real food is usually around the outside edges. This is where you find fruits, vegetables, meat, and milk. The middle aisles often have more processed food products in boxes and packets, so try to shop mostly around the edges. Fifth, try to shop outside the supermarket sometimes. Farmers' markets are a great place to find real food. The food is fresh, often picked that day or the day before. You will not find food products with long lists of strange ingredients or confusing health claims. You just find simple, whole foods that your great-grandmother would know. Buying from farmers helps you eat food that is in season, which is often best for you. These rules can help you choose real food instead of processed food products. 8. Eat plants and eat better. It is very good for your health to eat mostly plants. Green leafy vegetables are especially good. Plants give our bodies many important things. They help protect us from getting sick. Eating lots of fruits and vegetables can lower the chance of getting serious diseases. People who eat mostly plants often live longer and are healthier. Plant foods usually have fewer calories too, which helps keep a healthy weight. Eating some meat is usually okay. You do not need meat to be healthy, but it gives us protein and vitamins. It is better to eat small amounts of meat, not large amounts every day. Think of meat like a small part of the meal, not the biggest part. Also, think about what the animal ate. Animals that ate grass are often healthier than animals that ate only grains like corn. Their meat and milk have better fats. Try to find meat from animals that lived on grass. Try to eat many different kinds of foods. Do not eat the same few things all the time. Eating different plants gives your body all the different things it needs. Eating different foods also helps farms grow different things, which is good for the land. Also, choose food that comes from healthy soil. Food grown in good soil, like organic food, often has more good things in it for your body. How you eat is also important. It is good to eat proper meals. Try to eat with family or friends when you can. Eating together is a nice time to talk and share. It helps us eat better too. Try not to eat snacks all day long. Snacking often means eating unhealthy processed foods. Eating alone, maybe in the car or watching TV, often makes people eat too much without thinking. Eat slowly. Take your time to enjoy your food. When you eat slowly, your body has time to feel full. Stop eating when you feel satisfied, not when you feel very, very full. People in some countries eat until they are only about 80% full. Listening to your body is better than just eating until your plate is empty. Using smaller plates can also help you eat less. Learn to cook your own food. When you cook, you know exactly what is in your meal. You do not need to worry about strange ingredients from factories. Cooking helps you choose fresh, healthy foods. It connects you to your food. Growing even a small amount of food in a garden is also a great way to eat better. Finally, remember that traditional ways of eating from different countries around the world are often very healthy. These ways of eating have worked well for people for a very long time.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.